Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be about Jurassic World 2 in preparation for the brand new Jurassic World 3 game. Me and my wife have been playing the Sandbox mode. I'll show you now. It's a hot day, so I had to draw the curtains for this, but as you can see, we've got 100% on the campaign. Buyers in campaign. Chaos Theory completed. Challenges at 75%. I think we just didn't get, I don't know what we didn't get, to be honest with you. So we're on Sandbox mode anyway, and we've saved it as best park ever. So I'll take you and guide you through the park and show you what we've created. Okay, so we've loaded in. Let me just pause it and zoom out. I'll take you straight to the entrance first. So I skipped it forward and got to the entrance as not to ruin the surprise. So this is the arrival point. Guests will land here and into this prehistoric looking area. They will then hitch a ride on either one of these tour rides into the main park. Zooming out slightly then, this is the arrival point. So we're going to hitch a ride on one of these tour vehicles. I'm going to take over these drivers for now as we approach this forested area. The mystery continues. There's the arrival point on our right. We're going to continue climbing this hill. And there we have it. Arriving at Jurassic Park. So as soon as we arrive, we're in the large paddock. There's dinosaurs all over the place. As you can see, we're starting to approach a built-up area. I had to put on the brakes there. And we arrive at the main park. So coming out, as you can see, we went through this paddock. This is the track here, and this is the main herbivore paddock that opens out here. It goes across a huge portion of the park, so that will become more apparent later. We have arrived at this point here. We've gotten off at this arrival point, or this one here, and we've entered when dinosaurs ruled the earth. Fantastic. And there's a monorail station which we'll take a ride on shortly, but the main purpose of this is this grand gallery we've created that goes down the center of the park. And what's really good is that we obviously had this on Sandbox mode, so it was all flat, but we had the foresight of building it up on a high feature. It's a high feature on the center of the map, and so you can kind of see everything. You've got everything accessible on this main spine that we called it, or nicknamed it. And there's plenty of features in the center there. You can get a photograph by these world's giant biggest turds. you know, there's nice things to look at all the way down, fossils and fountains and stuff. In this main gallery, and there's a couple of sort of slip roads in place. Plenty of things to look at all the way up until this main innovation center, and it has a lot of pseudo important buildings here, make people think that, you know, this is a show hatchery really. We've got fossil center and stuff that's going on here. Behind we've got hotel strips. What I like most about this area is we've in place a beach, and we have these invisible fences in place, so people can go right up and close to the dinosaurs. Look, there's one Therizinosaurus approaching now, and it's going to come right out, you know, to these hotel guests that will be able to see it whilst enjoying their food, and they're safe. But it looks fantastic, it looks phenomenal. And we've put sort of what we imagine is a pier in. We started decorating it. I suppose we could do a bit more, but as soon as we found out that the new game is out, we of course wanted to you know, showcase this. So moving on to the rest of the park then, this is the predator area. As you approach, it should be signified by the red predator banners, so you're aware that you're entering a predatory paddock. And of course it has its own amenities and bunkers and whatnot. I really like the way we sorted these paddocks out. As you can see, they're all varying in their environments. We also have paddocks on this side. These are far larger. There's Compsognathus here with the invisible fence next to larger predators here. Giganotosaurus. Both versions, of course. We've got one of each version there. So this is like a big large facade, and that's because that leads into the workers' quarters, and it's got like the power stations and such. In here there's more predators that the gyrosphere can see, and you can see from this large platform overlooking the predatory area. For the amphitheater, of course, at the moment we have the T-Rexes in. What we've done is structured these 4 paddocks, these large carnivore paddocks, in, so we can just change the fences, you know, put a fence in here, take one out there, and then all of a sudden that's the animal we're showcasing, you know. And at the moment it's of course a Tyrannosaurus Rex, naturally. See in the view there, you can see the T-Rex just chilling like a chicken. We naturally have the zip lines as well. The attractions start as soon as you enter, really. Wait. These are the wrong way around. There you go. So this is a way to enter for the adventurous thrill seekers, of course. And now they're in the predatory area. Again, this large one across at least 2 of the paddocks there. There's another T-Rex. We try to make some interesting biomes, of course. So moving on back into the centre, the main attractions are as they are there. This is the centre of the hotel area. We've got a monorail station obviously at each of these points. The monorail station for the carnivores is here, and the monorail station for the hotels is located here. So that's 3 of them that you've seen so far, one being all the way back here. All of this, so essentially it kind of goes right side carnivores, left side herbivores. Obviously a gross oversimplification, but these viewing galleries, you know, show huge vast views of just like untouched territory. I might have to cover up that big wall there, actually, make it less visible. Now I want to do the trick. Now those sight lines should be covered. Obviously there's a gyrosphere station here that you can get on, and there's a few dotted around, as you can see. I might have to go easy on the amount of gyrospheres, but there's plenty of stops. Now it looks more seamless, you know. And for some, we didn't just go for, you know, invisible walls because for everything, because we wanted, you know, you to feel safe around the carnivores. It wants to feel real, you know, achievable. So on the far side of the innovation center is the sort of aqua paddock. Kind of wanted to make it feel like a bit of an island, but it's got a nice sort of boardwalk and stuff, and we put some seating down and some bins on the ends there, make it look real nice. So we've got loads of different animals in here. The far one, I'm stuck. The far one is sort of the largest carnivores. Obviously there's a monorail station situated here that takes you right to those ones. We've made sure there's plenty of amenities, and then branching off that, sort of you can cut around it as well in the monorail, is the Averies, and we've gone for different ones. You know, these Averies, you can, because they're all small sort of animals, you can have them sort of open air, you know. It makes you be more connected to them as a guest rather than these enclosed ones, which this one we've done so it kind of has different environments on each of the prongs. This is like a watery, sandy, beachy type place, and the one across from that is a little bit more rocky and dirty and earthy, and over here is just where they're sort of spawned, the hatchery bay is, so it's fairly basic. This one's the big one for the Quetzalcoatlus and stuff like that. As you can see, they're very big animals, so we tried to lower the ground so they had more space to fly, because they're kind of a bit too big really. Look at that. And back into the center, because it's sort of water orientated, we put the wetlands in down here. Now it kind of sucks that we have all this shade, but this wetlands is this is one of my favorite features of the park. You've got the invisible walls either side, and there's like Spinosauruses and stuff. They're kind of showing me up right now, but you get the picture. It's supposed to be scary as hell, basically. And they're all down here. And where's the Spinos? There, all chilling together. So we have some Spinos here. But we also, this area actually consists of 3 paddocks. We have another paddock over here with the Suchomimuses, and I think there are probably more things as well. But we went for this kind of look anyway. I'd love to know what you think of our artistic stuff, and it would make sense, as they are carnivores, to have them touching the carnivore section, so it kind of blends together, like you know, when you get bi pens, like different coloured pencils, they kind of blend together. So that's the idea, and that's pretty much our park. The workers' quarters as well, they have their own monorail station, and it's sort of cordoned off. So we're going to end this by taking a ride on the station and enjoying the ride. So that's the arrival point down there. We're arriving at next stop, workers' quarters. So the power stations are down here, and all the science centre, and it's the staff quarters and staff room, or whatever it's called, where they go home and chill out for a bit, are all located here. Up there we made it pretty, because that's like the main lab, the control centre rather. We're now moving on. These are the real hatcheries and the test hatcheries and stuff, where the real science that happens. We didn't want it near the common rabble, you know, distracting us. Down here is the rangers station. Obviously they're busy working on these predatory animals, or the carnivore enclosures that we're coming up to. So next stop, carnivores. And it feels like you're going to be in the paddock with them, but obviously we've done it so when you arrived, it feels kind of daunting having these. Even if you don't see the animals, like that would have been terrifying, but these sort of big corrugated steel walls are big enough, and I've just been beheaded. So we're arriving there. You can see all the zip lines in the back of the amphitheatre, and we've got amenities and stuff, and it, you know, it feels like a more enclosed space, but it's supposed to feel that way. And there's the innovation center on the high ground there, so you can kind of see it, kind of like the movie. Really like the movie of the Jurassic World, so that was nice. You can see a little goat running around there, and the Zorb, and large carnivores there. Okay, we're moving on. Next stop, Wetlands. So we're arriving at the wetlands now. It's a little different from the carnivores, but it's like the same, so the blend becomes a bit more apparent. There's that awesome boardwalk there. Oh, the Spinos are right next to it now. Look at those little people compared to them. Oh yeah, perfect. Look at that. So that would have been terrifying. Obviously, if they come near the people, the gates will go up. But yeah, awesome feature. And it's 2 different paddocks, so on one side you'll see different animals to the other. And there's plenty of viewing galleries. Will be in keeping with the wetlands, and it'll feel like, you know, this is a transition from land to water, and you're kind of in the middle here. So now we're approaching the back of what is the innovation center in the high ground there in the back, and we're now approaching the Carnivore water paddock and the other one over there, and it's supposed to feel like, you know, free and like a beach holiday, you know, and that's why there's those hotel beaches that we'll come back around to, and the monorail goes around, so it really expresses that water vibe. Look at this animal here. Oh, there's another one below it. So next stop, water paddocks. And the zip lines down to get down here as well. You can really zip line through the park, through the, you know, the central nervous system, if you like. And the spine kind of ends at the point here to the left. And there's the hotel, the beachfront there. So it kind of feels like it's all one flowing thing. Okay, moving on. Next stop, Averies. So it's kind of, we didn't want to have the monorail stops too close together, so we've kind of taken the scenic route with this one, and you can kind of get a good view on the Averies as you fly around and see in, rather than just concentrating, you know, a few viewing galleries. And you know, this isn't too bad as well. We will populate it eventually. Just obviously the PlayStation's already struggling with the amount of information. So this is taking us into the heart of the Averies as well, not just you know, into the side. So you get to see all the inner workings of the rangers here, you know, for those kind of guests. It helps, you know, keep the safety feeling in there. And you get to have a real good look into this Avery now. Oh yeah, look at him fly around. Alright, so here we have it. Coming up to this stop. At the Averies section. Okay, and you can really look into this place. All aboard! So the next stop will be Herbivores, if I'm not mistaken. This is the Herbivore stuff, kind of, it's in two sections, or there's two Herbivore sections. There's one on the far side of the hotels where it branches off to contrast with the carnivores, but the enclosure's so big that it kind of wraps around the other side of the hotels. The hotels are part of the enclosure, if you will, so it's all one continuous enclosure really, but you can access a lot of it from here, and there's a lot to do in this next stop. As you can see, going down here, we've got like its own hatchery. There's a whole street of shops and stuff going on, and the monorail can look in. Can you see? You can really see much of the paddock, this huge paddock, and those viewing galleries that you're seeing, they're accessible on this stop. So this is how you get to those viewing galleries, through here and through the aforementioned street here. And it's actually, you know, not far from the Averies themselves either. We took the monorail into the paddock for that viewer experience. And there's a gyrosphere station as well, so you can access it from 2 points. But there's like sort of smaller tours and larger tours, and the larger one goes all the way around the back of the park there. And there's the Averies. So we're now coming out and handrailing this herbivore enclosure back up the hill. And then we're back into the sort of watery area, the waterfront. Next stop, hotels. So we're back towards, and as you can see, we tried to separate these areas by adding this sort of cliffside. Probably look better for the guests as well. We have this nice waterfront here. And the hotel suites. There's a zip line as well going into the herbivore paddock and back out. Made sure it did go in, as we wanted it, you know, to be integral. And it's all one continuous herbivore enclosure with different biomes scattered. We'll show you them shortly after this monorail ride. So now this will be the final stop coming up on the monorail, and that's the main arrival point. So we've done a full circuit, one big continuous loop, and can you see in the background there, that's the monorail that we were on at the other stop. And there's so many dinosaurs in the foreground there, it's fantastic. And now we are arriving, that's the entry point. I actually prefer this entering from this side. I don't know why I went for the other way. Okay. And we've arrived at the central spine. I'm just going to show you this. So this is leaving the park. It's all the same continuous herbivore enclosure to when we came in. The one with the monorail station and the one with the gyro station as well. But essentially you come up from the arrival point. Welcome to Jurassic Park. And I put this slight bank in for a reason. And that's so as you crest the hill, you can see a lot more than if it was just flat, you know. And the exit points, there's one for each side, of course, because they're two separate circuits. But we put these sort of rocky outcroppings in, sort of break it up, so it doesn't ruin the magic for the people coming in. It's like Disney, you know. So now looking at this great expanse that we call the herbivore paddock, as you can see, it chops and changes. We've got like this watery bit for the gyrospheres. It looks phenomenal. And then coming out here, it's all different. We have this sort of, it's not all flat. Then we've got this big trench that kind of cuts into it and intersects, and it definitely breaks it up. It's nice for the gyros as well. You know, there's plenty to see in the herbivore paddock as well, and it's a nice ride. We tried to break up the viewing galleries as well from the gyrospheres. And we've of course got these viewing logs that we hid up, you know, the big platform, the concrete platforms things, so things don't kind of cut in as much. Obviously there's some things we can't hide, but we did try and do a good job of it. This is the sort of beginning of the gyrosphere track. There's huge expanses of water that they're seeing, and there's still different forms of elevation, but we're coming up to my favourite part of the gyrosphere track, which we've done an invisible fence and like this dry riverbed route, because we have some really small dinosaurs in here. There's tiny little, these ones, and so we didn't want them to get lost, so we essentially built a microbiome in the center, and I really like it. So then you leave via this way and it feels like you're leaving something, but it's seamless, you know. And you intersect this large trench at different points, really makes it feel like, you know, people won't really recognize it from the other side, essentially. And we're obviously still working on it, but this is the sort of most remote part, and it really feels remote. If you do manage to get a glimpse of anything, then you're like, wow, civilization is really far. Something could happen to me. And so that's it. I really hope you enjoyed it. So I hope you enjoyed that video. I know it's a different game to what I normally play, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for me, and let me know how I did. Cheers. Bye.